We have been around for a couple of years, trying to find our way in this fantastic sport of long track. It is for sure not a walk in the park, when public interest is as low as it is in Denmark. One should assume that a Nordic country like ours would be more interested in winter sport, but no. For those of you who haven't heard our story yet, here's a short resume. We have developed ourselves from speed skating inline to long track. Speed skating in Denmark counts for more than 3,500 skaters in clubs and an unknown number of skaters outside the formal club organizations. Olympic Games have not yet opened up for speed skating inline, and we do not believe that this is just around the corner. Olympic Games is attractive, of course, and having two skaters with several gold medals in junior European championships and ranking top 10 in the world, it is obvious that Olympic Games is within sight, but on ice. The Olympic dream started when one girl, with the dream of being an ice skater, managed to fulfill that dream at the Olympics in 2008. She was more than 30 at that time. Before her, Denmark had Kurt Stille. He's 80 years old today and living in Norway. He trained with the Norwegian national team and went to the Olympic Games in one of their suits, where all the blue color of the flag was removed. Well, a handful of younger boys and one girl got inspired and started skating with the only two kids at the local club and on the only ice we had in Denmark, a 400-meter track with bumpy ice. It is still the only track, and even though it is to be rebuilt in 2017, it will never be a track for World Cup skaters to train on. It is and will only be a track where citizens of Copenhagen can come and play and where beginners can train. Okay, so one girl started it all. The second generation of skaters learned to train and compete in 2 seasons, inline in the summer and long track in the winter. All skaters from the top end of the inline team. A few years ago, ESDP started as a project. A cooperation between Finland, Sweden and Denmark, and kindly supported by ISU. Due to this project, Denmark got into the real environment of long track. Skaters learned new techniques from more experienced skaters and trainers in Finland and Sweden, and trainers had to learn how to use the lap board. ESDP became ESDP and ESTP, which is now STP, and Norway is a part of the project. STP is now a full-size project where the 4 Nordic countries are equally sending junior and senior skaters, coaches and managers to meet and help each other develop. At the moment, Denmark has 5 senior skaters and 8 junior skaters at STP. 2 coaches are connected to the project and one of them co-responsible for education of other coaches. Every second year, Denmark sends 1 student coach to be educated during a 2-year period. We have 1 coach fully educated and 1 student coach. Both students have had a career in speed skating themselves and both as an inline and long track skater. This season and also last season, we reached out to Norway for the best of our skaters. We feel very lucky to have 1 skater training with the Norwegian national team and 1 skater on Norway's Skøyte Academy. The 3rd generation of skaters are also from speed skating inline. Not surprisingly, since there is no real ice track to recruit from. The track is open for 3 months only if the weather permits it, and that hasn't been the case for the past 2-3 years. Instead, we have enrolled all the kids that wanted to from the talent troupe from inline. Around 20 kids are on the list. They do what the 2nd generation skaters do. They train on inline bikes, they run and train at the local fitness center. Now and then they go to Berlin in Germany and Göteborg and Trollhättan in Sweden to compete. Norway, Sweden and Finland have offered the Danish junior skaters to join a Nordic country match, which will hopefully be a part of the calendar in the future. There is a direct link between the 2 federations, inline and long track. The link is a formal organization between the 2 with a project manager controlling calendars and 2 national coaches working together but with different focus. Controlling the calendars hasn't been easy the past 2 years. World Cups have started before World Championships on inline was over. We believe that the inline world have understood that development from inline to long track has just started. And since long track is more attractive due to Olympic Games, inline have to adjust their calendar to contain both inline and long track seasons. Some of the best inline skaters in the world have already chosen long track over inline. 2 of the Danish skaters have done so too, trying to fulfill their dream, competing at the Olympic Games. Budget-wise, we are for sure at the lower end. There are no benefits for any adults involved. Every penny goes to the skaters. You have probably noticed that there are no sponsor names on our suits, but we hope that this will change. We have admitted that sponsoring is an issue we are far from experts in. Instead, we stay at Airbnbs when traveling and we cook our own food, and that has its charm too. Our budget for World Cups was last year €12,000, covering senior and junior skaters and coaches. Probably a lot less than other countries. Most of the budget was used for our senior skater to go to Calgary and Salt Lake. That is why we once again take this opportunity to thank ISU for supporting the Nordic project. So, how far have we come when it comes to results?